what do we say? 53 miles. This says I will be done at 4:25 p.m., which makes no sense. Probably because I've been sitting here. Anyway, not sure how much more dirt we actually have today. This route ends in Damascus, Virginia. There's a little town up here called Marion, which it says to explore a little bit because most of the buildings in it are very, very old. So maybe I'll stop there and have a little bite to eat. This is basically the other type of roads that you find in the BDR, so it's half roads like we were just on, and then the rest is kind of like this. Someone with a restricted diet, it is tricky being in parts of the country like this, because it is not friendly to veg stuff. So just seeing, I mean, obviously like stunning beauty, but man, lots of animal agriculture, like CAFO stuff, and oil and gas stuff up in the mountains, and you just see, like, nobody from the coasts spends a lot of time coming into the, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people, I guess, don't really come and see where it all comes from. Where does your chicken come from? Where does your gas come from? I'm going by like naval intelligence in the middle of the Jefferson Forest. It's like just a lot of what makes the country go is here. But it's also a lot of the stuff that you don't want to see is here too. And what I mean by that is out of sight, out of mind kind of stuff. Trucks and trucks and trucks full of cows and pigs and stuff. It's just, I don't consume those products, but I don't know, other thoughts post BDR, post second wandering, I guess, of the year. Oh, I think I was talking about the KTM. Yeah, KTM 690. I mean, there's a little footbridge. KTM 690. Is my, I was just contemplating going back to walk across the footbridge. Let me get this turn around and a little bit rickety there. So KTM 690 essentially is this bike on steroids, and you know, I rode the KTM Twin. I actually didn't like it. I felt like there was no low end torque on the 890. Which meant you really had to wind that engine out to get it to do anything, and that's not how I like to ride. You know, and again, as a novice, I like to be able to tractor over things at really low revs. And apparently that bike, that kind of riding, stalls a lot if you're riding that way, which I've seen in videos. So, I don't know, just I wasn't feeling that bike. But the engine in the 690, my god, like, so good. Low end and screams, kind of like this. It has great low end torque, I mean, for what it is, and at the top end, I mean, the top end of this thing is nothing, but you know, KTM does take premium gas, which is kind of annoying. and KTM legendary reliability, which is the opposite. Like, feels like old Ducati type reliability, which if you're riding just out and back from your house and you can get home or get towed, you're good. But solo riding, that sketches me out, which is why I went for the T7. But man, like, if I knew I was not going to be out in the middle of nowhere solo, I think that's the bike I would take. This is another type of road that you often find on the BDR, which is like these sort of too narrow for two cars, but still bi-directional, sort of unmaintained, but often running by like a creek. Really pretty. Gotta be careful on these roads too, for either other riders or cars. There was one of these this morning before I started recording where somebody was, you know, boy racer driving his whatever idiot mobile and really overdriving the road. Luckily I was far to the right when he came around the turn, but like screaming around like that on public roads. Yes, very get off my lawn, because I'm very in the middle myself. Hopefully this bike is so slow at 27 horsepower, it's easy to get yourself out of pretty much any situation. We do have to be careful on these roads though too, just from a perception standpoint. It's interesting, as I was reading about, I was getting like another helmet, like an adventure helmet type of thing. It's hard, like, I would love to be able to ride with goggles because my eyes get really abused riding in the dust. But most of I mean, it's hard to wear glasses and goggles, and there's all sorts of problems with that. And I was thinking maybe contacts and goggles, because if your eyes are pretty isolated from the wind, then maybe contacts would work for me because they otherwise don't. But one of the things that someone brought up is that you look scary. This was on a podcast too, about, it was a UK podcast, but someone was talking about how they intentionally like dress conservatively, they wear nice colors and stuff, they don't want to put big exhausts on their bike and all this stuff, and because they want to be respectful to these roads that they're riding on, so people don't lobby to have them either closed or, you know, or worse, assholes that will put, you know, throw down tacks or nails or whatever to catch motorcyclists. There's a special place in hell for that, but yeah, it's interesting. You know, like if you look at like the Itchy Boots, setup, she's mostly wearing like pleasant stuff, you know, her helmet's a nice red and blue. Like this bike, when you see it, it photographs well, especially with yellow bags for some contrast, and like it always pops the colors in the background. But most of my other bikes are black, and like I was just thinking, riding a black T7 with black bags, with like a Climb Krios helmet, with black goggles, you know, and like the gear that I'm wearing is a little bit goofy, but camo pants and a white top, I don't even know what this is. I don't think anyone has put this combination together ever, but you know, a darker colored jacket and that setup, I just look like an asshole. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because I think that setup is kind of cool. Well, I guess I am saying there's something wrong with that. Not that people make that choice, because I would be really tempted to make that choice myself. But I think you do just sort of look like, to someone in the riding community, it's whatever. But to some rando whose country road you're tearing down, I see the issue. So I don't know. stunningly beautiful. This actually looks like it's starting to get to past peak, wherever the heck I am here. A lot of leaves off the trees. There's been so much wind the last couple of days. Today the wind is terrible. A lot of those like big bright yellows that I think were basically how the season started. I think a lot of them are down. Those really bright yellows and the bright reds. Like here's there's one, a yellow. I think a lot of them that give a real dynamic coloring to autumn are down. That was red line. Gets me up to 35. 45. I do enjoy riding slow bikes. I don't want to say fast because I'm not riding fast, but riding a slow bike in a spirited way is actually really fun. Oh man, this bike was like the 500 twin, not even the 500 twin, hell, like even a 500 single, which the Honda doesn't even have, but like the CB500X motor in this maybe. I know people have like hacked that together into a 250 frame before. It still wouldn't do the wind, but just, you know, and I know people have chipped these and supposedly like that fixes some of this, but that to me is missing like part of the reason to have one of these in the first place, which is the reliability. But you know, it's funny too, like you know, I think a lot of people jump into these huge bikes, or they look for the most expensive thing in the category or whatever, as if it's the best. Like, honestly, this, you know, the GSA was whatever the hell it was, 18 grand. If I bought it brand new today, it'd be 28 grand. I am, for this type of riding, I'm having more fun on this thing, which was $6,800. And like, there isn't anything else in this category. The 300 Rally with the big gas tank, it's just like, this is the category. You go down from here, you're into like KLX 2, whatever it is, 230, 250. No, it's like 300 now, but there's no ABS big tank option. It's a fun road. But yeah, I really like this little bike. I really like these tires. It's not quite like GSA handling, obviously, but you know, I have not, and I'm not going to test it because I've got a skinny front tire, but I mean, surprisingly good street performance for such a tiny, skinny front tire, and then great off-road performance. I mean, like, these Mitas tires are just great. They're just great. You have to be very you have to be all over the place with the shifting, because obviously if you can't lug this motor, it doesn't tractor like the GSA would, where if you're like in 4th gear and you just get on and it goes. But whatever, it's engaging. These leaves are mostly dry today too, which is nice, because yesterday on roads like this I was having to ride at like 10 because wet leaves give you grip. And there's some bright yellows. That guy was doing. So much fun. What a road. What a road. Cool. Right as I say, not as I do. That's the thing. And so, now, I don't know. Like some of these where the thing, I forget who it was, years ago, someone used to say, like, it was Clarkson, if you are driving quickly in a sports car, the nice thing about sports cars is that good sports cars have good brakes. So if you're going too fast, you can take the speed off. And I think this bike is slow and also has bad brakes. I shouldn't say they're bad, they're just good look. One turn. Oh wow, lots of dead trees. Shit. Those don't look like fall leaves down trees, those look dead. I mean, the number of times on this trip where, like, where I was being slightly stupid and just flogging the hell out of this thing because you have to. This is such a cool road. Oh, such a cool road. I can't stop at any of these things to look around either because they're just a little bit too sketchy, and the kickstand on this thing sucks. But yeah, even when you're flogging it, you're just never going that fast. So mistakes are easy to recover from. Transitions are really nice with this, with the tires on this too. Just weird because they don't seem to have the shape that would imply that that's what they can do. But yeah, you're not ever going that fast, and it's extremely forgiving if you screw up. The only thing that's not that forgiving is the brakes. I mean, the amount of times I had to get into sketchy land to peel off speed and like more rear brake than I would have, you know, to the point where I thought I would have kicked in the ABS. And honestly, maybe I should be flogging the hell out of the brakes too. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'm just being too conservative with my pull. I should experiment with that at some point. Not today. This is a great road. It's such a great road. I don't even know what this road is. Oh my god. Look at this. Got the reds back. And then yellows. Breathe it in. Yeah, back there, if you saw by the side of the road, it was all yellow leaves. that hadn't browned yet, so they're all just coming off. I mean, you can see them right now. I'm not sure the camera will pick it up, but yellows are definitely falling. This is so nice. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Got some oranges. That's some, I guess that's laurel. I mean, like, this is, you cannot beat this. Because you got the greens from the laurel, which is an evergreen. And there's a green from what looks like a, I don't know, what was that? An oak or a maple. The bright yellows, the deep reds. You've got, and then some browns. And most of the trees, I mean, here there's some bare, but like otherwise, that's it. That's fall right there. I would be very tempted to do this again, although there's probably other good autumn rides to do. Maybe that's the move next year, just beeline down to the Great Smoky Mountains and do the Smoky Mountain 500 in fall. Or out west. There's good autumn rides out west, or Rockies, I guess. I haven't explored much out there yet. Oh, you cannot beat it. I'm just, look at this. Like, I just want this road to go on forever. What's nice about something like this right after the dirt part, I think we came up the mountain dirt and now we're going down paved. Maybe we were up and down on this part paved, I don't know. But like, when you're worried about terrorist gravel or what's under the leaves or what's trying to like kill you in the woods, you can't bathe in the autumn glory as much. There's another one of me. That was a 300 rally. That's funny. I gave him a heck of a hello. I shouldn't say him, but it did look like him. That guy was flying, and I'm happy to take this road at an embarrassingly slow pace. Because I just don't want it to end. Ooh, sketchy pavement. But yeah, that's the thing, on the KTM, I can just see getting myself into trouble. I mean, who knows, maybe not. I'm a conservative rider, but like, that KTM makes you, that engine anyway, and the SMC makes you want to like, you know, ride in a much more spirited way than this thing does. I guess that's it. I mean, not a bummer. It was amazing. Glad I recorded that. Is the light still on? Can I see? Yes, the light's still on, so hopefully you got all that. was one of the highlights. Two of the highlight rows, honestly, of the whole trip. You know, as I was just thinking, what's interesting about the dirt stuff, like the northern PA dirt. Wow, I should shut up and let you enjoy this if it's even coming out on the video. But northern PA dirt was glorious and high speed and this hard packed gravel, which some people say is like, because it's not technical, but like to me, technical riding by yourself is too harrowing anyway. And like some of the dirt stuff, I'm like, in the back of your mind, you're always like, if something goes real bad here, it takes a little bit of the fun away from it. And you have a sense of accomplishment afterwards. Like after that terrace gravel that you were just with me through, that was not like, oh, that was so much fun. It was more like, thank God I didn't go down. Thank God, like, my skills were sufficient to do it. Sense of accomplishment, not so much sense of joy. Whereas those roads are sense purely of joy, because I know how to ride those roads, you know, knock on wood, almost with my eyes closed, and certainly on much bigger bikes. And the high-speed forest roads, like, those are also almost pure joy, with the back of your mind like, oh shit, I'm way out here kind of thoughts. So it's not pure joy, it's joy with an asterisk. But I have to say, like, having done plenty of street touring, you know, there isn't a lot of technical street riding, unless you're trying to go way too fast on a public road, which I try not to. So I do like the technical challenge interspersed with the fun street riding. But as I was just thinking just a moment ago, ooh, that was shitty dirt. Just as I was thinking on the second ago, I was like, you know, besides the fact that I have to get home and accept delivery of the T7 coming from Minnesota, it's just kind of like, I don't want to go home. I could just stay out here and just keep going to wherever. But yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, I don't have a route besides the Transamerica Trail to do anyway after this. I'm sure I could find something, but the TAT is way more of the asterisk riding, which I'm looking forward to doing at some point, but that's a mindset to get into. Of like, okay, I'm gonna spend the next month, you know, succeeding in each day, I guess. But I wouldn't want to just do another, at least not on this bike. I definitely don't want to just do a street tour on this bike. I don't know what I'm saying. I think I like what I generally like what I'm do not. So many squirrels have really been death at me. I know what I'm saying. It was a great ride. Enjoy that it was a great ride, and I guess and shut up. I should be saying. I gotta say, it is so tempting to just keep going on the TAT, but there's something also, I don't know, I'm probably overthinking the TAT at this point, but it's like, man, like I know the TAT cannot be completed this time of year anymore. I already missed the window, because the Colorado passes will be long closed by the time I get there, as far as I know. And here too, you know, we're getting into Tuesday, it's going to be in the 20s. So despite this being a nice day, I also know I'm playing with fire, thinking like, oh, it'll just be like this and I'll wander across the country and then I'll get to Colorado and it's 25 degrees. So, you know, but